Morning, Zina. Morning, Deon. I hope you've managed to get some sleep after last night. I'm sure it was a long night, but just can we get an injury update, please? Is anyone not in contention for this week's selection, as far as you know?
Morning, Craig. This time we have no reports of any injuries. I think everyone is fine. They will go through the normal medical protocol, recovery protocols today. But at this stage, we're all ready to go for this coming week.
Thanks.
Morgan?
Morning, thanks. Morning, Deon. Deon, how big is this week going to be? All Blacks versus Springboks. You can't ask for bigger than that in the final. Both 3 times winners, and history will be created on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic and exciting week that lies ahead of us. Our battles with the All Blacks come a long way. There's a lot of history, as you've said, between us. We've played them a couple of times this year, but obviously going into a World Cup final, I don't think any of those previous encounters count. It's a totally new game and under new circumstances. Playing for the World Cup, so yeah, we have to be on top of our plans and on top of our execution this week. You could see New Zealand throughout the competition. They've been playing excellent rugby. I think they're also in a very good space. So yeah, it's going to be a hard-fought battle on Saturday, and we need to make sure that we tick a lot of boxes in our preparation going forward.
Please raise your hands for questions.
Good morning, Deon. Good morning, everyone. I hope all is well. Deon, can you just take us through how much is left in the boxes, emotional and psychological tank, leading into a final? Because there've been 2 1-point wins across both weekends, and games that will go down in Rugby World Cup history as probably one of the most tensest. I mean, how are the Boks managing their emotions, having dealt with such close margins over the past 2 weekends?
Yeah, Kanishu, I mean, actually, if you can get a better result early on and see the score clearly, it would obviously be the best position to be in. But unfortunately, listen, this is a World Cup, and we've played against teams in excellent form. Last week, France at home. I don't think it gets bigger than that. This week, a formidable England team that pitched up and really played very, very well. So yeah, we really had to battle that out. But applause to our players for turning things around. I mean, that's just a testament of the character of the players in this team. Being around for 6 years now, being under this type of situations for a couple of times, understanding how we operate as a squad. Whether you start or whether you come off the bench, trying to adapt and making plans on the run to work things to the better, assist, and yeah, we just glad that we could have turned things around last week and this week. Hopefully this week we won't be in a similar situation, but it will still be a tough battle.
Joe?
Hi there, Joe Porter from RNZ. How are you? Obviously, the greatest rivalry in rugby, you could consider the All Blacks and Springboks, a repeat of the 1995 final, and of course, both teams going for a record 4th World Cup title. You must be excited by this challenge.
Hi, Joe. Yeah, no, very, very excited. I mean, as a kid, we grew up with listening to the radio of the battles between the Springboks and South Africa. Also, listened to different stories of different heroes in both teams over the years, and then it's just been part of our rugby history, the Springboks and the All Blacks, and obviously every time I think we play each other, it's always a special battle, and I don't think this one will be different. I mean, I think it will just maybe go to a different level in terms of the competition between the 2 players. Excellent talent, I think, in both teams, and as I said, yeah, it's going to come down to the day itself, the team that handles the pressure, and that execute and use the opportunities the best, and execute their plan the best, or maybe that one brilliant moment from one individual that turn things around. I think it might come down to things like that. But yeah, we're very excited and very, very privileged and humble to make it so far, to be part of such a big week leading into this game.
I'm not sure what your name is, but it says the 42 team.
Hi, good morning. It's Murray here. Thank you very much. I just ask, last night Sia paid a really glowing tribute to Jacques Nienaber's work. Just from a coach's point of view, how much does he bring? What specifically does he bring in a big week like this?
You know, we as a coaching team has got a very, very good relationship in terms of how we deal with things. Always looking together for solutions, not taking praise for different departments, but see everything as a collective approach in terms of how we look at things and how we can complement each other. And obviously that leadership comes from Jacques and Rassi in terms of how they empower us to do things, and how they share the experience and gave insights in terms of that. And obviously that also flows down to the players, the leadership group, bring the players their input and insights in terms of how they do things and what they think will work, because we sit with a lot of experience also within the group. So yeah, working in an environment like that where everyone works towards a common goal and being led in that way to achieve that, I think that is just fantastic to be in such a dynamic environment.
Valen?
Thank you very much, Tina. Very good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. This is, for many of us, it's going to be a really nervy, anxious week as we look ahead to the final. We know that whoever wins the title will break a record. I know you guys usually just take every test week the same, go through the processes, but surely there's something different this week. Maybe you can just set out like what the Springbok team are going to be doing in this week in the build up to the final.
You know, today is just a very, very good rest day, and then we will start building it up into making plans for this week. You know, I think it's just important to stay in the moment, to take each day as it comes, and to ensure that from a preparation perspective we detailed and we know what we want to do and how we're going to do it, and just don't get ahead of ourselves. I mean, I don't think anything will change in terms of our approach and how we do stuff. Obviously, strategic point of view, there we will look at making maybe different plans in different areas, but technically and conditioning wise, and in terms of our program, look, I don't think anything will change a lot during this week, and I think that will be the way we will approach this week.
Mark?
Morning. Can I ask you how instinctive that early substitution was of Pollard? How instinctive was that in the coaching box? Was there a little bit of deliberation, or was it done sort of very, very quickly? And then Ox's performance, did he win the game for South Africa?
Mark, you know, the beauty of the squad is that I think there's a great alignment in terms of the players that start and the players that come from the bench. Everyone has got a good idea in terms of when the substitutions might happen. The guys that start have to do a specific job for us, and then the guys of the bench need to come and do a specific job for us. And sometimes as game goes on, obviously you look at in terms of the execution of our plans, you look at the conditions, you look at of different areas where you can improve, or where you look for something different. And I think in this case, if you look at this game, when the substitutions came on, whether it was Andre RG Snyman, Oxniche, all of those guys came on, and because the players that started have done a specific job, they came on and they brought something different. Also because there's such a close a relation between the guys that start and the guys that come off the bench. You could see that they were able to bring something different and some new energy, execute some new plans in terms of how we had to adapt in terms of what was in front of us. And I can just applaud all of those players for doing that. And obviously that were some of the discussions between the coaches in terms of when and where we have to do stuff. And we're just glad that it worked out for us at the end of the day.
Kaniso?
Thank you very much, Zina. I mean, John, can you take us through the improvements that the Boks need to make from a forward perspective? It was one of those occasions where the Boks were quite matched from a physical perspective, and outside of the try, again, are you able to take us through how the maul worked and maybe and how the maul worked yesterday?
Yeah, Kanisha, I think first of all, I just wanted to say, listen, the conditions out there were very, very difficult for both teams, especially in terms of the grip of the ball. It was rainy and slippery out there. So yeah, both teams, I think, at times struggled with the execution in terms of that. Then obviously, in terms of the mauling, yeah, it didn't go our way all the time. We didn't get the reward that we wanted all the time. But if you look closely at it, obviously I think we might have been unlucky at certain times not to get better rewards, whether it was in our own control or whether it was possible infringements that happened around that was not always maybe or under the conditions and under the pressure of the game, not always clearly saw by the officials. But you know, that is part of the game. We always try to look at how we can improve, but also well done to England. I think they were well coached. They brought extremely challenges in different areas of the game, and we will have a good look at that, and then and try to improve in terms of that. Yeah, we will just take it from there. But as I said, the conditions were really, really extremely difficult out there, and I think as the game go on, I'm just glad we adapted better and we could have executed better.
Ben?
Morning, Deon. There was a moment last night where Tom Curry spoke to the referee about being sworn at by a South African player with a pretty offensive comment. I just wondered if there was any comment on that from your camp and if that's been addressed.
When I honestly say I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of any comment. It was never discussed. So I'm just not quite sure what the comment was or whether it was said. So yeah, I don't know.
Jan?
Thank you, Zina. Morning, Deon. I hope you can hear me. Internet's a bit wonky. How much of this week's preparation will be mental and how much of the physical? I mean, given that you guys have been together for so long, you've been on the road now for a good 4 months. How much of this week will your preparation be physical? How much can you actually do physically, and how much of it's mental?
I think that's a very good question, Jan. I think that is one of the things that we need to be smart on in this week, obviously, to get that balance right. I think there's a good understanding in the different areas in terms of how we do stuff and what we do. I think we will find a balance in terms of that in order to ensure that our players are fresh and ready to go on Saturday, but also not underprepared. And that is something that between us as coaches and the conditioning coach, we will have a good discussion on to ensure that we tactically and strategically pitch up to be the best that we can be, but also, as I said, be there to execute for 80 minutes.
Ollie?
Thanks, Zena. Hey, Ollie Ritchie here from TV3 New Zealand. It's been a couple of months since you faced the All Blacks at Twickenham, and you obviously did a bit of a number on them there. What sort of differences do you see in this All Blacks team now and in their game now compared to the team you faced at Twickenham a couple of months ago?
I think, as I said before, it will be a completely different game. I think both teams have learned a lot of lessons out of both of those games. I think New Zealand is playing excellent rugby, very good rugby at this stage. And I think from both sides, I think it would be a case that we would try to improve from those lessons learned in different areas and just see where we can outsmart each other on the game. But I don't think this game, as I said, would be a total new start. It will be a new game under new circumstances on playing for the top prize in world rugby. So yeah, I think that comparison, if we live in the past and or look back too far and not be in the moment in terms of what might lie ahead, we would fool ourselves. And I think our focus will just be in terms of what we will have to do to be the best that we can be, and with in mind that we are facing a formidable opponent.
Morgan?
Deon, this 4-year journey, how pleasing is it for a coach to see the improvement of players? Like 2019, Oxford cracked the nod for the World Cup, and look at his performance last night. Just that growth, that must be really satisfying for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is what you want to get out of coaching. You understand? That's why you do the job, to try to improve the players, to make a difference in their lives on and off the field, to see them ID together with us areas that they are good at, but also where they can improve, and then put in the hard work in order to do that. And when you look at the squad, and you look at how these players operate and how much hard work they put in and how they react towards the things that we share with them, even if they are not with us, in terms of the roadmaps that we do throughout the years, trying to track their performances at the different franchises and the response of the players towards that, to become better, and even when they come into camp, to even work more harder, whether they select it or not, having that desire to be part of the squad and to perform for their country, and then put up a performance like he did last night. I think that's tremendous. I mean, we've been working from him from school right through the SA under-20s, and now him being part of the playoffs in the Springbok team. So see that development and improvement from him as a rugby player, but also as a person, is just a tremendous and a satisfying feeling from a coaching perspective.
And then we'll take the last question from, I also am not sure what your full name is, but M. Hinton.
Yeah. Hi, Deon. Mark Hinton here from Stuff Media Group in New Zealand. Congratulations on the win last night and serving us up the final. I think I can safely say all of New Zealand wanted.
So sorry, thank you, Ma. I just lost you there. The last
I was just saying congratulations on the win. Listen, Deon, my question is, do you see this very much this final as a clash of styles of two teams who kind of play the game in a different manner? And if so, does that make this final even more intriguing?
That's a good question. I think between us and New Zealand, in my personal opinion, there's strength and in both teams, in terms of how they play the game, but also there might be similarities in terms of how we look at the game. And as I said, the squad, both squads bring something different or something similar in terms of experience, in terms of X factor, in terms of where and how they want to play the game. So I think it's going to be as I said, it's going to be a tight battle to outsmart each other and to ensure that you get the upper end and over the advantage line, and then use your opportunities. And I think that is what play of rugby is about. It's going to be about position. It's about playing the game in the right areas. It's about using your opportunities. And I think in those different areas, it's going to be a massive battle from both teams. Those are the things that I think that assisted us, both teams, to get into the final, and those are just the things that, as I said, on the day, the team that execute the best and pitched up mentally the best to handle and adapt to the conditions the best will at the end of the day be the winners of this tournament.